It was almost a year ago, we were working on a project in automotive, and we received a request from the UI and UX team to improve the user interface. We started looking into the application and we identified two major issues. One of them was about the structure of the application and the way that we're propagating data from the lower layer to the user interface. And the second one was how we were rendering the animations through composable functions. Anyway, we ended up in a situation, in an application that it was rendering pretty much better and a smoother animation rendering. It brought lots of insight into composable functions and how we can use them. Today, I would like to look into how we can take benefits of using composable functions, especially with the recent improvement that Google announced in Google I/O. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mohammed, and today we will look quickly into some benefits of composable functions together. First of all, when you are developing with composable functions and Jetpack Compose, you won't feel that the user interface is detached from the logic and development of the code. Actually, you are rendering everything, you are creating everything from scratch. And it's not like XML layout-based user interfaces that you had like some XML functions that you needed to just develop some customized classes to rendering list views and others. So you are rendering everything within your code and your control. You have a full control over everything about rendering. So the first one is the feeling that you as a developer get from developing with composable function, which is great, I think. As I mentioned, we will have full control over rendering and updating the user interface. It means that we can decide how and when which part of the user interface should be re-rendered. Also, we can optimize the user interface and its performance in a way that we can achieve what we need, since all of that is part of your code. And it might be because of the data propagation or other part of your application that you are not reaching to a better performance. So there will be some opportunities to optimizing the user interface. One of the things that when we are developing an application or code or we are designing architecture, we think about is reusability. With composable function, we will be able to develop lots of reusable UI components that can be used across the application. So it can speed up the process of development and also providing less complexity in sense of debugging. The create power comes with responsibility. As we mentioned, there are lots of flexibility and performance improvement in using Jetpack Compose. But we need to know that if we don't think about the architecture and the structure of the code, we might end up in a messy situation that the application is working pretty much well, but it's not easy to maintain, extend, or changing the behavior of the application because the user interface is part of the code. Of course, we are updating the user interface through view model, live data, and state flow, but it's important to having a clean or the right architecture for your application to ensure that you are able to change the behavior of the code or adding more functionality in the future. Jetpack Compose help us to providing like engaging user interface into our application and having good performance and a smoother animations. But we know that it's required to have a good discipline, to having a right structure and architecture in our code, to achieving a good quality that we can provide to our users. But anyway, everything comes with its pros and cons, and we need to have a new way of thinking about that. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Also, please share what you think about the Jetpack Compose or your experience in the comments, and subscribe to be notified for the new videos. See you in the next video.